ever-growing genre of the Souls-likes. This particular one, it had me really interesting because of the personality that it has. The main problem with Souls-likes is that they seem to be taking just the mechanics that From Software proposed, but they end up just feeling like a sorry attempt of what it could actually have been if it had any kind of personality. With Steelrising, I do believe that we are in the right path. What is up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing James. This is Mariel Corner in the internet, where we like to discuss about RPGs. If you like the content, if you like to have these conversations with Mariel James, I would very much like to invite you, like always, to hit the like button because it really helps me. Like you have no idea. And also, most of the people that watches my content are in fact not subscribed to my channel, so what are you waiting for? First and foremost, we're going to be discussing about every single little detail that you need to know about this game if you are planning on buying it. First and foremost, let us speak about the developers, Spiders. So, the very first game that we actually got to know them at some extent, where they made some kind of noise, was with Orcs and Men, and then we had Bound by Flame. Now, Bound by Flame was kind of an okayish RPG, I should like to say. There was not anything special about that game. You could actually have some fun if you did not have anything else going on around back in that time, but it wasn't really anything that special about that game. When they made a little bit more noise again was with the Technomancer, which was a Souls-like sci-fi action RPG. And it ended up being one of the okayish games that, okayish Souls-likes and soulless Souls-likes that we have out there. When they made more noise was with Greedfall. The second entry of the same, Greedfall, is being in development, but I can tell you that I believe that they redeemed themselves with Greedfall. Greedfall has so much quality, and I believe that this is where the personality of these games, of this company, started to grow. The personality, the colonialism kind of action RPG, strategic RPG with those things from Dragon Age, it's just an amazing game. Like the gray world that you have in front of you, and kind of bleak sometimes. The characters that you met in that game, the side quests, everything was just so well done, and the mechanics were so well placed that I believe that with Greedfall is what they redeemed themselves. I believe that Greedfall should be getting a little bit more love, but I believe that a lot of people are excited about Greedfall too. Now we have Steelrising, and with Steelrising, I do believe that they have a huge personality going on with this game. So that being said, that's the developer, so now let us speak about the story of this game. The city burns and bleeds as it suffers the madness of King Louis XVI and his violent legions of automatons. Aegis, a mechanical masterpiece created by the engineer Bocanson to be the Queen's bodyguard, must save the French Revolution in this challenging RPG. So that is pretty much the core of it all. You are in the side of the opposition of the tyranny. You are in the side of the revolution. Your main goal in this game will be to make the revolution dream come true, come to realize, and to end the tyranny of King Louis XVI. That being the case, that's the personality that this game has, because it sets up in the 18th century for the French Revolution, but with this kind of cyberpunk, steampunk setting where you have the automatons. And let me tell you, like, that being the case, let us talk about the world and environments, because they look so goddamn gorgeous and alluring. And again, the personality that this game has, it has a personality. I believe that it does stand out from many other RPGs that you have out there. For example, Lords of the Fallen was just the regular medieval RPG. We had recently Thymesia that was, well, I enjoyed it. It was way too similar to Bloodborne. This specific one, and I believe Lies of P, that end up being like kind of in the same setting, something similar between them. They have a brand new personality, the environments, and the bad psychology that you will be able to experience, the freedom that you will be able to experience. This is not an open world, but you have these levels in front of you that you will be able to traverse with more freedom because of the verticality that they have. So that being the case, gameplay, combat mechanics and all of that stuff, because it is tied up to what I am telling you about right now. Basically, one beautiful thing that happens in the industry, I do not know how you feel about it, but From Software, which is a masterpiece of a company with masterminds behind the industry, they propose new mechanics, and then other kindred spirits take those mechanics and make some things wonderful, like this game that we have right here. You have the grapple, which was proposed by Sekiro. You have many other tools that you will see proposed by Sekiro, and so many other combat mechanics that we will be discussing about. So first and foremost, the combat on itself. It is a Souls-like title, so if you find yourself intrigued about this game, you should think twice before getting into, because they have said this is a very, very challenging game. They have said that you will require discipline to master this game. One very important thing is that it requires both a learning curve on the gameplay side and the mechanics side as well. To be able to succeed in this kind of games, you need to have a full knowledge of the mechanics that are sometimes really hard on the learning curve on all of the Souls-like titles. But the main core of the combat is that you have this world where you I like to call bonfires. You rest in a bonfire, you explore those levels that you have in front of you. If you mess up, you lose your currency and all of the enemies are respawned back again. On bosses, you have to fight those bosses and you have to learn the mechanics. That is why they say that it requires discipline for you to be able to overcome these challenges. The more skillful players could get away with just relying on their skill and reflexes. Us mere mortals, we have to rely basically on learning and adapting to situations that the game presents to us. Learn the patterns that enemies have, but most importantly, the main focus in these games is boss battles. You will be able to overcome those boss battles by learning the mechanics, by learning the skeleton, by learning their animations. That is a huge emphasis of this game, but also, again, like I said, gameplay mechanics. Those are your first resource. Those are your first asset to be able to overcome this thing. The builds that you can make in this kind of games, they are just so goddamn amazing. One very good thing that I love about Souls-like titles is the introduction of being able to maintain your playstyle without having to change equipment. This is not a looter game. If you find a weapon, you can keep it. But to keep that weapon and to make that weapon efficient, you need to learn about scaling weapon mechanics. I will be discussing scaling weapon mechanics later on here in the channel. So if you're interested about Steelrising, again, a subscription will be very much appreciated. But I believe that I can share my knowledge of these games with you and have you have a better time with this game. But then again, mechanics, the builds that you can make this thing, you have your stats. If you properly allocate your stats with this thing, you will be able to succeed. You will succeed in this game, but if you don't, it's going to be very goddamn rough to you. Learning curve, learning to understand the stats, learning to understand the weapons, the special skills that the weapons have, learning to understand how scaling weapons function, how you increase your damage. It's very interesting. And lastly, character customization. You will be able to customize your automatron, and you will be able to use different armor sets to that will alter your playstyle, but you need to have that deep knowledge about the gameplay mechanics. And lastly, just to wrap up the video, there is a closed beta for this game going on right now. Sadly, you have to pre-purchase the game to be able to experience that closed beta. The game launches finally on September 8th. That being said, remember to stick around because I will be posting guides for this game. And remember that I was told you today that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Like the video and subscribe to the channel before you close the door. Now I'll see you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.